The Los Angeles Food Policy Council is a nonprofit with a mission to make food healthy, affordable, sustainable, and fair for all Angelinos. And we believe that all communities deserve access to good food. And when we say good food, we mean healthy food, but also food that's grown with respect to the planet and grown with respect to people. Many communities don't have sufficient grocery stores, they don't have farmers markets, they don't have healthy restaurant options. These communities tend to be low income, they tend to be communities of color, and really this is a result of many, many decades of divestment and racist policies that led to a situation that today we call the food desert. Essentially what that means is your whole neighborhood, in your entire zip code, what you'll find is fast food, junk food, liquor stores, but no healthy food options. So when we talk about food and equity, that's what we're talking about. How here in Los Angeles, South Los Angeles, for example, is home to 2 million people with 60 grocery stores. Well, you have the same amount of grocery stores on the west side for half as many people. So that gives you a sense of the disparities. What we've found in our work is that most people really do want to eat healthy. We actually have data that shows how residents will travel outside of their neighborhood, miles and miles, on the bus, in cars, to buy groceries, and we call that grocery leakage. So that shows us that there is demand in low-income communities, that people buy groceries, they'll just have to trek all the way outside of their own community to do so. Our neighborhoods influence our choices. If we grow up in a zip code where we don't see healthy food, we don't see healthy food messaging or marketing, but instead we see the opposite of that, fast food, liquor stores, that's gonna shape our mindset. So what we do is we partner with small businesses in low-income communities, in food desert neighborhoods, and we support them and empower them to be ambassadors of good food in their communities. As small businesses, they need help to make sure that it's economically sustainable, so we do that work with them. We help them transform their entire business model and their entire store environment to focus on healthy food. And at that point then, we have leadership in the neighborhood to send a different message about healthy eating, about nutrition, about the importance of a good diet. And it's important that that leadership comes from within the community. It's already there. Our work is to find those gems, those leaders, and to activate their power so that they can be ambassadors and champions of health for their community. And so we do that with corner stores, with neighborhood markets, with carnicerias. We do that with street vendors. We work with entrepreneurs all across LA to help them be champions of good food for their communities. We're also reconciling generations of exposure to unhealthy food, to toxic food-like substances that have such a negative impact on the health of communities of color, of low-income communities, and we have to heal that. And that's really the power of food. Food is medicine. It's really about everybody reclaiming an ancestral way of eating that is connected to the earth and with respect to the earth, and eating a more plant-based diet. We know that Los Angeles is home to some of the best food in the world. We have the best chefs, some of the top restaurants, but not everyone gets to enjoy that abundance. And so our mission is to change that and to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to eat healthy, to eat local, to eat sustainable if that's what they choose to do. Some of the areas where we've been able to make progress is that a couple years ago we won a policy that made it so that all farmers markets in Los Angeles now accept food stamps as a form of payment. So what this does is it allows low-income families to have access to the beautiful farmers markets that we have here in Los Angeles and makes fresh, locally grown, sustainable, organic produce affordable for them. Here in California, we call food stamps CalFresh. In Los Angeles, only 60% of the families that could use CalFresh food stamps are using the benefit. That means there's 40% of families out there who are eligible but not using the benefit. And why is that? We have to make these systems easy to access, we need to advertise them everywhere, and we need to link them to healthy food options. That's why we did the campaign to make sure farmers markets also accept CalFresh, because that's a win-win for everybody. It's good for local farmers, it's good for low-income families. In the neighborhood markets and corner stores where we work, healthy food and food stamps are connected together. So we're always trying to promote this very important public benefit and defend it, because it's the right of all families, regardless what your income is, to be able to afford fresh produce and healthy food. We need to think systemically, we need to think long-term about generations of health to come, and how do we support our health today so that we're saving on healthcare tomorrow. What's at stake when we don't have the option of eating healthy? Well, all we have to do is look at the data. So communities of color, low-income communities tend to have higher rates of diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and these are challenges that add up over a lifetime of exposure to toxins in the environment and the lack of opportunity to live a healthy life. So what we're trying to do is bring that resource and create a level playing ground where everybody has the right and everybody has the choice to live a healthy life. When we think about what shapes our health, we actually have to look beyond what we put in our mouth. We have to look at all of the environmental factors that shape our lives. Work, employment, poverty, housing, transportation. When we are limited in those areas of our lives, that impacts our health. It impacts our body. It impacts our stress. It impacts our quality of life and even how long we'll live. A child that is born and raised in Watts, for example, is going to live on average 12 years less than a child that's born and raised in Bel Air, a more affluent neighborhood. 12 years difference in life expectancy. That's not just about food, that's about all of the environmental factors that shape our health. So for us, we want to make sure people have access to good food, but we want to make sure they have access to good jobs. We want to make sure that they have access to housing. We want to make sure that they have safe environments to play, like public parks. And food touches all of those things. Food is a huge economic driver. 1 in 6 jobs in LA County is in the food industry. So if we can unlock the power of food as an economic factor, as a health driver, then we're going to heal communities on a massive scale.